That's what Steve Carter taught me. He called it the power switch mentality. He was like, you have to understand which muscle groups in your body need tension and which ones need relaxation. And you have to differentiate between the two. So in my case, when you rack rest the kettlebell and clean, your legs are still tight. You have to really lock your knees, right? So the weight is carried by your pelvis, but your upper body relax, right? So that's more like that power switch mentality, right?
Are we talking about sport or hard style?
Just sport or hard, yeah, sport in general. Resting the kettlebell, oh, that's great. My idea is rack resting the kettlebell, even in sports, and I have a 28, a 32. I feel my legs are under a lot of fire.
Ideally, if we're talking about like competing, doing 10-minute sets, you don't want your legs to be on fire in the rack position. You actually want to have like relaxed quads, because your legs, if your legs are already burning early, it gets hard to go fast on jerks. So you're gonna lose steam going through the set. So ideally in the rack position, you're fairly relaxed. And this also comes to the point I made earlier about earning the right to relax. When I say relaxed, I don't necessarily mean that everything in your body is just completely relaxed, because if you've trained appropriately, certain muscles are just naturally going to be turned on. I imagine certain muscles in your core and things like that are going to have trained to sustain the weight in a way that works for you. Wow. So when I say relax, well, you are relaxing, but you're obviously still holding up the weight and going to be ready in a few seconds to do like a jerk movement. Yeah. So
wow. Where I'm coming from is just I thought about it the way because my knees were always bent when I rack rested the kettlebell, and I feel really well now. Even maybe it's not a burn in my quads, maybe that's the wrong description, but I feel that they're tight. Because if I don't lock my knees, then they start bending. So I know, okay, locking the knees, so I feel a little bit more tension in the quads. It's not burning, but it's still it's maybe that what you're talking about, right? That little differentiating factor between relaxing but still upholding the weight.
Yeah, and so you are still stacking the weight. And there's also mobility that comes into play there as well, because if your hips or your back or different areas are a little less mobile, you might be holding more tension on your legs because it's not as easy for you to get comfortable in that rack position.
And I do get very comfortable in the rack position, but somehow I'm like, man, just I think that's more like the hard style ideology that's coming in. Man, just for safety reasons, just use a little bit more tension, and you're fine. Especially when I grab heavier weights. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it, consider subscribing if you want to see more kettlebell content. And if you're looking for a kettlebell program that builds you up from a beginner to a slowly advanced trainee in the course of about 3 months, and you maybe want to combine it with some easy to follow nutrition coaching, because maybe you want to lose weight or you want to get in shape, then check out 90 Days of Kettlebells. You'll find the link in the description. 14-day free trial included.